Karen Noble, one of our most outstanding principals in the district, to come forward and introduce. She has a couple partners with her this evening. But as a little bit of background, you'll remember last year hearing about the makerspace movement, and as a board, you graciously directed us to set aside some money for innovative learning for students. And in May, we'll bring forward in our instructional focus kind of the culmination of makerspace progress and movement throughout the district. But we really wanted to set Mendenhall and allow them, set that aside, because they've taken this idea of innovative learning and design in a totally different direction, and in a way that's very responsive and exciting to their students and ways of engaging. So I'll turn that over to Karen.
Thank you very much. And we are so excited to come and talk with you this evening about what we are doing at Mendenhall. Mendenhall happens to be my favorite subject, and so I love speaking about it. And the program that we're going to be talking about is one of the most exciting things I think that has happened at Mendenhall since I've been there. And tonight, speaking with me, I have Ms. Christine Barantes, and she does everything at Mendenhall, but specifically she helps me organize and keep everything straight for our Afterschool Academy. Also speaking tonight will be one of our wonderful 5th grade students, Julia Quiros, and she will also introduce herself to you when her point in the presentation has come. So thank you, Julie. You can sit down and rest and relax a little bit right now. Okay. I just wanted to kind of start off by thanking, first of all, Susan Modisette and Lorraine Schmizu for inviting me to speak this evening on behalf of this program. We just want to thank the school board for having us tonight as well. Just want to also say just how much it means to us to have a school board that is interested in hearing about programs, and also just the fact that you encourage us to look and see what our students need and seek new and different opportunities to meet those needs. And this certainly is one that is our favorite. So we are going to start off with a little video that is actually a trailer from some new technology we've learned called iMovie, and it's wonderful. So we had started off our program to get the kids excited with a trailer of our own, and it did work. It really worked. And so our technology group, which is one of the things, one of the classes I'll be talking about, put this trailer together to encourage the kids to sign up for the second session, and so here it is. This was student designed. So you can see, the kids in the technology class get to learn. They do many different things, including putting together slideshows, movies. They get to be the photographers, for a lot of the courses that we go, that we have, and they are very into their craft. And so I think exposing kids to activities like this, exactly why we did the Afterschool Academy. I think just to give you an overall view of what we're doing, we've taken basically what was reserved for our campus for academic tutoring, and we have turned that into academics delivered in a totally different fashion. and opening up opportunities for our kids in areas of science and math and the arts that really our kiddos would not have otherwise maybe been able to access. And so we've kind of rolled into our day what we were trying to do after school and have opened up this Afterschool Academy to meet those needs. We wanted to get kids excited about learning, understand how it pertains to their life, give them real life experiences, give them a path perhaps for a career. And so we have set up the Afterschool Academy to do that. And so far, I think you'll hear from Julia in just a few minutes, the kids absolutely love it. Why did we feel the need? Some of that I've just went over, but it's because we needed to do something different. If we continued to do things the way we were doing them, we were going to get the same results that we've always gotten. We are doing so much for kids at Mendenhall Elementary, so I don't mean to take away from anything we've done in past years, but we needed to do something different. We needed to reach them in a different way and encourage them and give them some motivation along the way. And so we felt like we needed to open up this program to them and have an access level that all of our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders could participate. Our 2nd graders are already asking when it's their turn. And I would open it up, but we don't have the capacity to do that and do what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep, and as a matter of fact, we cap all of the classes at 10. And so we are spread all throughout the building. If you come visit us, we're everywhere, okay, when we're doing this. The students that are being served are those 3rd through 4th graders. Everybody is eligible for the program. We do have some students that are still needing some help. It is kind of a no pass, no play. We feel like that is in good preparation for their future. And so we have an encouraging program called Homework Academy to get all of the kids back in. They go to Homework Academy, they earn points to get back in their course schedule. So, but we do try to, we have 280 something 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders as of today, and over 260 have participated in this program. And it's voluntary to be there. So we are adjusting transportation on the way home and trying to get these kids home, but we are finding the way to do that. The teachers are the whole reason that this works. And as you know, teachers are, they are the front line. And so our teachers, and I'll talk about the implementation in just a minute, but they are the ones that deliver this instruction. And they are an awesome group. Once again, I invite you to come and meet them. We offer it Tuesday and Thursday. We do 7 to 9 week sessions, and it's offered from 3 to 4 in the afternoon, and that followed, and so we were able to piggyback on our transportation after school bus that had already been set up for that program and has been set up for a number of years. So that's why we did the Tuesday, Thursday. The funding is thanks to you, and I know Susan Modisette already made mention of that. We don't have a large campus activity account that could have provided for many of the supplies, and so we were fortunate enough to be able to tap into that money that you had set aside for innovative learning. I did move a really big piece of cheese in totally transforming what we do after school, because to move from a tutoring, we have Mendenhall is a group of great kids and great teachers, but we have a lot of needs. And I see us as one of those campuses that how could I not offer something after school? But in wanting to move into giving them different opportunities, I talked to the staff a little bit about it and let it kind of sink in, and then I moved fast. I thought, less thrown at you, the faster you move on this. So, but once I explained to the staff, hey, I am seeking your knowledge, your hobbies, your experiences, a desire that you have to get something into our kids that we don't do during the normal school day. And so our teachers turned in their suggestions for what they'd like to do. We asked them to make a 9-week lesson plan, which we have, that connects it to their learning and objectives and what we're going for as far as connecting it to academics. We requested all of the bizarre materials through a PO that your money provided for us. And then we put together a course catalog. They actually have a course catalog. And the permission slips went home, so we were ready to get going. The students register on a Google form, and they get to choose what they attend. And so I think that's pretty key. And then you'll see a quote and some quotes from the teachers. I know you can refer back to those. Our teachers really got on board. It was so different, though. We really had to just keep trudging until we got everything set up for that first time. First session, everybody smiles, everybody on board. This is the greatest thing ever. Now, a month before, it wasn't quite yet the greatest thing ever. But it's been great. So one of the things that's really cool, and I won't spend a lot of time on this, but the registration process is really neat. They register on the computer. It's kind of like, higher ed and getting them to understand the responsibilities that you have can allow you to register and get the courses, first dibs on the courses since we cap them at 10. And so we do have a permission slip that goes home each new session. The parents have to sign so that they're aware the kids will be with us after school. That permission slip gives them permission to register online. And I don't know if Julia wants to talk about that or not, but they do it online. It can be done simultaneously in all of the grade levels all at once because it's within a Google form. We timestamp them and get everything situated and set up and give roles then to our teachers for their classes. So I mentioned Homework Academy, and we definitely want our kids to have that support. They have support for academics content and also organization, working with agendas. But the idea is to have them feel that motivation to push them back into the courses that are available. We have a lot of courses that I want to let our teacher that has done so much to help with this program, Ms. Barantes, if you want to come on up and kind of go through. We just have lots of pictures for you all. We want to give you a feel and a sense for what this is like on our campus. So we're going to do it through a few slides here.
Hi, thanks for having us, and thank you for supporting this program. Well, Afterschool Academy, as you see, is just exciting, fun things that are, let me find the right spot, are getting to the, I thought I needed to get it down here. What did you do to get it going? All right, we got it. Thanks. We have lots of different classes that are very innovative, and the curriculum is each teacher develops her own curriculum. For detectives, they did a lot of investigating of so-called crimes using science and process of elimination. We have classes like painting where we incorporated adaptations of animals. They really focused on a specific animal and were able to talk about its adaptation and the environment that it came from. And during painting, they also did a mini painting of an ecosystem on a gift box. The woodwork, they had the opportunity to work with hammers and nails and saws, but then they had to do measurements and they had to really design these things so they would come together correctly and all the pieces would fit. So it's a little engineering behind that. Now, Piñata was definitely a lot of engineering. We saw these kids, they had to come up with whatever shape they wanted to make, and then they decided, am I going to use boxes? Am I going to use balloons? How am I going to make this form actually come to life? The Build-A-Bear gave these kids to do some of the old-fashioned home ec things where they're using sewing and planning, and they're using buttons and making a little craft, not quite like what they do in the mall, but something that they were all very proud of. And everybody loves to make things explode, and so children have the opportunity to experiment with different ways to model volcanoes and just have some fun exploding and talking about how it's not, or
Small explosions.
yes, very small explosions, but how it is similar, how it's different than a real volcano goes off. Puzzles not only worked with these jigsaw puzzles, but they also did some logic puzzles, and brain teasers were some of the other activities they did during that course. The engineering course was very interesting. They had different tasks and goals to meet each time, and they had these really big they were designing a wheel that had wheels. And what was interesting was most of the kids went for those really big CDs to use for their wheels, which made them very floppy. Well, then they had to come up with a way to solve that problem, and some of them switched to smaller wheels and found out which things worked better and solved their problems and came up with other ideas that they could use for them. And quilting was lots of measurements, tessellations, and then just that whole threading the needle thing, really good. We used the curriculum that we had from an early grant for some of our logo classes. So this is a logo learning grant that we used in this class here. And so the kids have been given, they give a task to do with their Legos, and at the same time there's an academic message or an academic purpose for each one of those lessons. When we're the travel the world with maps. They focused on a different continent each time that they met. And not only did they talk about the countries and the map and landforms, that they also talked about the culture. And at this one, I'm sure they're doing Asia because I see they're eating egg rolls. Technology, there are multiple technology classes. You saw the trailer from the beginning. This one here is an Osmo class, and it has multiple things that they are doing on the iPods that we have throughout the building. We also have a robotics class where they're using Lego robots and programming them with their iPads. And PowerPoint presentations, they're researching, making their own presentation, and then public speaking in front of their groups and practicing having that experience. Environmental club surveyed the whole school, went and investigated and saw just basically how are we doing on our recycling, and made motivational posters and did various things. Now, some of these girls in the future might not have the opportunity to take dance classes that would get them into drill team or eaglettes or something like that in the future. So this little dance program will give them a little taste of some of the things that they might need to do if they want to do something like that in the future. The Spanish class, they did learn a little bit of Spanish vocabulary, and they also researched the culture of different countries that are Spanish speaking. Drawing, we're setting them up to become architects, draftsmen. Mostly when we talk to the students about that class, they talk about how it incorporates geometric shapes. And the crafts of just having access to all of these different materials and having fun creating different things and designs that the kids themselves have come up with. Bridge building, they discovered very quickly that you don't just make the bridge and go, because these structures needed to be sound and be able to hold some weight. So they went back and had to revisit what they were doing and work on becoming civil engineers and finding out that sometimes you have to take it down and build it again before it's going to really work for you. The crafts of nature, they went outside and got some things from nature and came back and made them into crafts. But our favorites were these little families that they made, because we really realized how large our students' families are when they're walking out with these big blobs and they put a little nut to represent each member of their family. The Crafts of Indians was really a very interesting class. One of our staff members from India had brought in a lot of different things, and the kids really had the opportunity to study this culture and create different things based on Indian design. So proud of our kids. So many of them signed up for sign language. There's so much empathy within our staff, within our student body of special needs students, and they wanted to learn sign language, and every time that class fills up, as well as experience the disability experience. I was talking to some kids about the other day, and they said, well, next time I'm signed up for disability experience, because I really want to know what it's like to be blind. I really want to know what some of those people are going through. And so just having them have that concern and tolerance of people with disabilities and compassion, lots of compassion among our students. Chess Club is very high level thinking, coming up with strategies, and they had matches among themselves, and really seemed to enjoy it quite a bit. Our math and logic games class, they started off using some games that already exist, like Battleship, and looked at how math was incorporated in that game, and then they designed their own games and played them with each other. Again, cheerleading isn't something that our parents have the opportunity to sign up our students for, so this gave them an opportunity to see if this is something they might want to do in the future. With music, the guitar class was not only guitar, they also did recorders. And so they basically got to see string instruments, woodwinds, and gave them a chance to think, am I going to go, do I want a string instrument? Do I want to go into band? And maybe pursue some type of music background. Magic, they said, now we have to say this is all science. All magic is a science, and so she proved it to them. They used science, and there was a lot of science, but then a little bit of craftiness also when they were developing their animals out of balloons. So this is just a quick flash of our Tuesday classes, just to show you that we have 28 classes that are offered on Tuesday, quite a variety of them, as well as 28 classes that are offered on Thursday. They're different. So each student is taking 2 classes each session. And we're trying to expose them to as many different ones as we can. So this year, they're going to have the opportunity to take 6 different courses. They're just very, very excited about it. And a lot of them are, I can't be absent on Tuesday or Thursday because I want to go to Afterschool Academy. And so it's just so much fun to listen to them. And then when they start talking about it to you and you say, oh, so that's math. And they'll be, so you snuck math into basketball. Okay, I don't know how they did that, but they did. And the kids are just loving it. And we're really seeing just a great excitement about learning at Mendenhall because of this new program.
And she's done an excellent job. Without Christine helping us stay organized and through the registration process, we wouldn't be where we are. As teachers, we're doing surveys. We don't want to just do this blindly without thinking, is this what is what's happening what we wanted to happen? And so the teachers have all given it a real positive. I'm really proud of that because it was a really different thing to leap into. And so to get their opinions and their thoughts about the program, to realize that they know it's motivating to kids, made it worthwhile for them to step out and plan a course. That was probably their biggest fear was, what if I plan something and nobody wants to take it? You know, once they got beyond that and saw that all the courses are getting full, it was nothing. So, but they are having a good time watching the kids have a good time. Julia, come on up here with me, babe. This is one of our wonderful 5th grade students, as I said earlier. And, you know, you can see here on this slide, our students have loved the program. We've talked about them loving the program. Don't worry about the camera. But Julia's going to talk to you for just a couple of minutes. I had to just have a student here to show you how enthusiastic they are about it. So go ahead and share with me, okay?
Hi, my name is Julia Quiroz, and I'm a 5th grader who attends Afterschool Academy. When we first started Afterschool Academy, the students had no idea what they were getting themselves into. So when we first started, that's when they realized this is actually really fun. And so when we started the 2nd semester, I could remember the excitement of wondering, I wonder what I got. I hope I got this. I hope I got that. And it was just excitement in the air. When I first started, I had a Tuesday class of a book club where I discovered a book that I really enjoyed that had drama, suspense, mystery, plot twists, and cliffhangers that left me at the edge of my seat. And on Thursday, I had a detective class where we used science to compare powders with vinegar reactions. And now I take a drawing class where we use the geometry of shapes and use shading to make them look 3-dimensional. And on Thursday, I take mock trial, where we mock what it's like to be in a courtroom and what it's like. And we learned what the people of the court are, like the lawyers, the judges, the bailiffs, the plaintiffs, the defendant, and the lawyers. And as we continue Afterschool Academy, it's better than tutoring, because when you're doing Afterschool Academy, you're learning something in a way that's entertaining, that it'll make it stick better, and the students will remember it for as long as they live, I hope. And as we continue Afterschool Academy, I hope my brother over there in the back in 1st grade can be able to participate as well and do something he enjoys.
Thanks, Julia. Awesome job, Julia. And really, you see the quote on the bottom here, and as a principal, I don't think I could ask for anything more. You know, the kids, if I could, and we had the capacity, they want this every day. You know, they want it every day. But to me, that shows success. So we thank you for letting us share this with you tonight. We hate that Kaysen wasn't able to join us. He would have told you the story about the basketball and the 90-degree angle. You know, so they're doing angles, but he wasn't able to make it tonight. So thank you so much for letting us share with you.
Wow, I don't think you can leave the podium yet. And I know that my fellow trustees are going to have some commentary, but I think that you guys may want to come back up to the microphone.
Yeah, I guess my first comment is for Julia. When you graduate from law school in about 15 years, give me a call.
This one you're going to hear.
So I've got a comment and then 2 questions. The first comment is that I was struck by the physics class, the engineering class rather, because the project with the wheels I did with my wife, girlfriend at the time, when I was a senior in high school. So it's amazing that in elementary school that we're already doing those types of projects like that. My two questions. The registration for the classes, is it where the students can select the topic? They register based on topic, like you said, it was like a college registration.
So it's a Google Doc. They have 5 choices, and we've kind of manipulated them in a way that their first choice is more like they have 1 and 2 is, they have 5 choices. 1 and 2 are Tuesday classes, 3 and 4 are Thursday classes, and then 5 is a mixture of the classes that sometimes don't get a lot, that aren't the favorites. So you kind of go in there and then it works back in that way. And as kids are registering, I physically go in and drop the classes as when they get full. When they're picking them out, we manipulate them so there's one that's more of an academic focus and one that might be more physical or hands-on focus, so that it has a little more variety. And then when we schedule them for the classes, because they chose through 5, we have a choice of the 5 to select which 2 we think is most appropriate for that child.
And then that's all the background. They only see that they put in their favorite choices. And I think we're a high percentage are getting one of those 2 choices. And then Christine does a really good job of going around if they're not going to get that. And we know a lot about the kids, but we'll also ask. But it's been remarkable how spread out their choices have been.
So my second question was with regard to the classes themselves. Is it all 5th graders in one class, or is it 3, 4th, and 5th grade mixed?
Yeah, it's 3 through 5.
Okay,
There are 3
love
through
that.
5 in them. That's part of what's really interesting is when you can have the different levels and the kids working together as partners and letting those 3rd graders rise to the occasion.
Are you seeing that affect the community within the school itself? It just seems like it makes it a tighter community crossing grades.
Don't you think you like having 3rd graders and 4th graders in with you? I mean, she's one of our 5th graders, obviously, and a great leader. But yeah, it has been really interesting watching the multi-age. And of course, the way we have traditionally run our tutoring, it's not at all like that. And yeah, the 3rd graders are feeling very special and very much want to continue this program.
And it really helps to build interest groups. And so that some of those older kids are able to mentor some of those younger kids that have the same interests.
Okay, David can't count. He's a lawyer, but that was 3 questions.
I count like a lawyer.
I know, I just
You're an
there you
accountant.
go.
Carolyn's an
I'm
accountant.
an accountant. So, Julia, so I could tell the whole time watching your face that you obviously love this after-school program. So, is there anything you'd like to share with us that you like the most, or?
I really can't pick. I like all of them.
Awesome.
They're
That's
all
what I want to
amazing.
hear. That's great.
Well, you know something, you said that you hope that your friends and you remember these skills for your whole life. Now, I'm not going to give away my age, but I'm telling you, when I was in 4th grade, it was many, many years ago, and we got an opportunity to do something, nothing as awesome as this. It was just in our art period, but we got to choose. And I think there's so much power in the opportunity to choose and let you guys have that chance to pick what classes you want. I think that's so wonderful. And I'm so impressed with your passion, and your public speaking is amazing. So, you know, kudos to what you're doing on that campus. And I would expect that this could translate into you know, an improvement in scores, if you will, or acquisition of knowledge. So I think this is wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Karen? So I know at Mendenhall that you value the community, the parental involvement, and try to find ways to bring mom and dad to campus. So outside of the regular academic open house, have you guys thought about whether there's an opportunity to bring the family up to enjoy, you know, exposing them to the excitement that the students have about the other kinds of things that they're learning too?
Yeah, we have planned a slideshow and video presentation for open house night to be scrolling in all of the areas of the school, and so that's one way we want to show them the parent support with this. I probably should have brought a parent that that could talk to you, but the parents love this. They have made comments like, I've never seen my child so enthusiastic. They are begging for Tuesday, Thursday, and my child absolutely said that they were not sick, even though they had a fever, because they wanted to be there. I mean, the parents think it's wonderful. So we have developed all of the course catalog and an explanation of what we were doing all went home to the parents to begin with, so they are somewhat in the know, but to see it, yes. I hadn't thought about inviting them up to walk through with us, but that certainly is a good idea that we could look at.
We did have a family night. It was called STEM Expo, where we had a lot of different activities where the students were presenters that evening.
Some of them did do that.
And a lot of them did something based on what they were doing in Afterschool Academy, and then we also had a bunch of the products from the ones where actually they produced something. So we had the birdhouses there, the piñatas, the paintings, and a lot of the different crafts and different things that the students had made. So the parents did see those and get to talk to their students about them. And then they were begging to take them home. We're like, let us keep them home.
But I will tell you, there is an excitement when I know we're over time now, but there is just an excitement when you're walking through. Lorraine Schmizu came over, Kristen Anderson from Avid came over one afternoon, and some others. And when you walk around, you're just like, wow. I mean, everybody's engaged. All of the kids are engaged. And as hard as we try, we know that doesn't happen 100% of the time every single day. And in this academy, it does. So we're proud of that.
Julia, is that your family in the back?
Yes.
Could you stand and let us thank you for coming tonight?
Thank you for sharing Julia with us. All right, thank y'all so much.
Thank you. That was a wonderful presentation. And what a trailer. I mean, that was amazing, the creativity.